I'm not gonna lie. I have been messing with OBS for about 2 minutes now, messing up over and over again, but that's okay. I don't need my headphones on. I don't. My hair is okay today. I hope. I hope. I got my Batman shirt on. That's not level at all. So like, that's like this is like the. Wait, if it lands, it like tilts sideways. It's
Oh,
kind of weird.
brother, this guy
I got my
stinks!
nails painted like Shadow the Hedgehog. My girlfriend did them. So we're gonna talk about comics this week. Uh, got my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle mug filled with coffee so I can get this done and put out tonight. It's been a busy week. I didn't get to read a lot, so I'm gonna kind of do a different style of video for this podcast. Uh, See, the issue is that I didn't have a lot of time to read a lot of stuff, and there wasn't a lot of good stuff that came out this week. But I did read important things, and I want to talk about Superman today because with the summer of Superman starting, and Superman Unlimited coming out today. Today is Tuesday the 27th. It did not come out today. It came out Wednesday the 21st. And I did not buy a single variant. I didn't really like the variants for that comic this week. I wasn't really feeling it. I kind of like the regular, just the newsstand paperback, trade paperback comic. I think that was the best version. I think it was the best cover. It looks cool. I think it looks like really clean. I think it looks like an old style comic, kind of like an 80s cover. I really like that. I think it's very enjoyable, very reminiscent. And if you can see up there, I put Action Comics 361.
Bruh.
Now, for those who don't know, that's the first appearance of Parasite, one of my favorite villains. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not talking about Parasite today. Maybe one day I could talk about my favorite villains. And Parasite will be on that list. Another one will be on that list that I shouted out last week. And still reading it. Haven't really made much progress in Justice League, Green Lantern, New 52. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I've been wrapped up. I've been reading Wolverine. So good. And then obviously I'm looking for comics all the time. And I actually just started Atom Project, which I liked it. I liked it. And I read Absolute Martian Manhunter too. And I'm actually going to talk about
that you had you could you do you want you could do so you
so I'm going to talk about Absolute Martian Manhunter today as well. But I want to first talk about Zatanna 4 that came out this week. Let me just say, for like how this week is, I don't know if like anyone else has had a hard time finding Zatanna 4, but or any of the other Zatanna like issues. But I went on the Friday and I was like, I'll be fine. I can get every variant. I can get everything of Zatanna, and I wasn't pre-ordering anything at that point. So like, I don't know. I thought I could just show up and I'd be fine. I went to my first comic store, and there was zero Zatanna 4. So the next day, I went to the next store, and there was only the standard trade newsstand trade paperback. I don't know why that took so long. And like that was it. And I want the variants from that one because I actually like the variants for that one. Next Zatanna 5 has some really good variants. I want the bunny variant. I think that one's really really pretty, and I think that's gonna be a nice one. I have issue 2, and I have both the good variants for issue 3. I am looking for an issue 1 variant, so you hit me up. I may buy it from you. Zatanna is one of my favorite comic book characters, so this is a very good. I actually have not. I've been thinking it's like I've been simmering down on this run so far. I thought it had a very good start, but then around the end of 3 into 4, it kind of started tapering off there, and I wasn't having as much fun reading it. But I think it's been ending pretty well. I kind of like the ending of this issue. I like the I like the idea that Zatanna just won't let anybody in, and I kind of hope that it they add on to that and how she's locking everybody out because she's so powerful. She thinks she has to do everything by herself. So I hope they add on to that, and I really like the. I want to know more about her friends and the people she works with, because obviously, if you're coming into this series, you like we have no background information, so we want to know more about these characters that are added in. And we know about Zatanna, especially if you're reading Zatanna, you're more likely to know about Zatanna. But let's add on to some of these side characters. I don't think it's bad necessarily. Obviously, they haven't had much time to really do anything, and we have to flesh out the story as it is. There has to be a lot of narrative that we have to bring into the storytelling overall. So obviously, we have to take a look at the villains, which their motivations kind of don't seem that clear yet. Hopefully, we can kind of have a better idea of what they're wanting. Um, and their purpose for going after Zatanna and locking down her magic. Because as of now, the only thing we got was they wanted the skin of I keep wanting to say Adam, but it's not Adam. What's his name? I don't remember his name. I keep wanting to say Henry, but it's not Henry. I don't have the comic with me. I give it to my girlfriend, so I can't look at the moment. But we'll just go Blue Devil because they also just call him Blue Devil. And we know that they want the skin of him, and that they want Zatanna to have no longer have like magic and kind of be afflicted with the sword. But now that the sword's out, I want to know what they're gonna do. Obviously, Zatanna is super powerful, one of the strongest people in DC as a whole. So I kind of want to see where they take the story now that the sword is out, and she has the ability to track down Lady in White and Lady in White and I can't remember his name. He has like a weird name. Brother, is it Brother Black? Brother Gray? Brother Evil? Or something like that. Brother Man. Brother, Brother Man. That's his name. That's his new name, Brother Man. And so I really hope what they kind of expand on what they want and where they're going with it. I want Zatanna to kind of. I kind of like that she's overwhelmed right now, and I hope that it like spurts out into her making more issues for herself, so that the story kind of can keep flowing through the villain's plan, and so we have more narrative ideas for what they can do with other characters, and help Zatanna lean back on people when she needs. I mean, obviously, it's like things she learned from Titans and Young Justice and things of that nature, but this is a whole new Zatanna, and now that she's stronger and she believes in herself way more than before, it'd be good to kind of have a new story to kind of lean on and like understand that like yes, she has all this power, but she's holding a legacy and things of that nature. Like I kind of like the end of the issue where they show her mother and how she talks about who she is and how strong she is. I think that's a really good touch to kind of get over the sword, because that's kind of Zatanna and her family's whole purpose. Like, well, not purpose obviously, but like it's been a thing. Like they have a very strong lineage of sorcerers and sorcerettes. What is the word for women sorcerers? Is it just sorcerer? Because it's like witch and wizard, you know, or witch and warlock. Is it sorceress? Sorceress. That took way longer than it should have. That's kind of embarrassing. But like, is she a sorceress or is she a magician? Are they magicians or are they sorceress and sorcerers? I don't know. Is it a magician or a sorceress? Like, what's the difference in that? I don't. We need this to be fleshed out in Zatanna 5. I need these answers because I don't know. But now I could talk about Absolute Martian Manhunter and how much I've been personally loving it. Out of all the absolutes, I think it is the best one, and I don't even think it's close, to be honest with you. I love Absolute Superman. It's one of my favorites. I'm not caught up necessarily. I know Summer Superman, but it's like I was really loving it. I was really loving it. I like the idea of it, but like I don't. I just need to keep reading it. That's the truth. I bought the foil version of the first issue's variant, and then I bought issue 2 and 3, but I didn't buy any variants for that one, for those. And I was really, really enjoying it. But I don't know, I just kind of stopped. I started reading Absolute Wonder Woman, and I was really liking it too, and then I stopped on that one as well. It's not like I'm like in a funk. I'm just having to read so much stuff that it's hard to get to other things at the same time while working another job. Like if this was my job, I'd be reading all day, every day. All I'd be doing is reading comics. That's 100% the truth. I mean, this wall is going to be filled with comics at some point. I'm going to have issue 1 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle foil graded on the wall. I have X-Men 213 right here graded 9.0. Look at how beautiful that is. It's going to be on my wall. It's going to be right under that Action Comics. Right there. I'm going to have Supergirl. The Carla variant, Virgin variant. I'm buying that one soon. Like, I would love to be able to do this all day, but I am not able to sit around and read comics all day, even though I'd love to. I would love to be done with Green Lantern right now so I could be making my Green Lantern video. But as of right now, I'm not able to. I'm not in the state where that's all I could think about. Even though I do love comics, it's one of my biggest passions in the entire world. I have merch. I had in my old room, before I came to this room, I had a shrine of Batman. So much Batman stuff. My grandma would buy me so much Batman stuff. And so I had a literal shrine of Batman memorabilia in my closet. I'm not joking. My parents, or my mom, she painted me superhero like canvases. They're in my closet. They're actually in my closet, and I could bring them down, but like maybe I'll put them over the superheroes as well. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Not too worried. I also have this really cool one I painted for myself of Mordecai and Rigby, and they're looking at like one of the plasma balls, and they're like, "Ooh!" I love that one. That one's so cool. But yeah, back to Absolute. Kind of looks like Absolute Martian Manhunter art. So I guess we can roll right into this topic with Absolute Martian Manhunter. And let me tell you, it is without a doubt one of the most interesting comics I've ever read. The best art right now in comics, I would have to say. It doesn't do anything particularly crazy, like art-wise, other than the colors and the ideas that they use within the story, with the way it builds up with the smoke that comes out of the cigarette, and it has colors flowing around and trapped with thoughts, or the way that the Martian fits so perfectly into the landscape or different places. I think one of the best things that the comic has done is when he goes up and sees his son, and he's looking at his family that his son made, and the shot goes from his face to then the Martian, and he sees that because that is, I mean, it's not necessarily outright said, right, that he is the Martian, but I mean, we could probably infer that he is the Martian. But the Martian is there, and when he gets into the car with the Martian in the second issue, and he starts talking, and he goes inside the mind of the terrorist, and is his name John? Is his name John? I don't think so. I actually don't think his name is John in Absolute Martian Manhunter, but when it is John, bruh, it's me. I'm John. How did I not know that? I really like when he's talking to the terrorist, and then the Martian is inside the terrorist's mind, and John's like, I know him, but I've never met him before. I've never talked to him before. I can feel all his pain, him growing up, him riding a bike, things of that nature. I really like the ideas of which it's very almost psychedelic like, but it's telling a narrative on which he's coming to find himself within a panic. Almost like once you turn a corner and something in your life kind of changes, like a traumatic moment or a passing of somebody, your life kind of changes and you're looking at life a little bit differently, and you're able to pick up on things a little better, or you empathize with people a little more, things of that nature. I really like the ideas of the comic in which it's showing real life and fiction through a Martian, somebody that humans cannot necessarily relate to, but since he's so human-esque, just like everything else in the world, we can relate and understand what John is going through. I mean, the story starts with John in an explosion by a terrorist, and now his life has changed for the worst, almost like a concussion. Well, not for the worst. That's not good. Good not good phrasing. However, his life has changed now, and now he's seen colors that weren't there before. The world is more vibrant. He's hearing voices. He's understanding what people are feeling or saying or thinking. He sees the worst and the best in each person. And now, after this traumatic instance, he doesn't know who he is anymore. He doesn't know who he wants to be anymore, what his purpose is. All he knows is that he has to keep working and trying to figure out what's best for him and his family. And I think that's just such a beautiful way to show it through the colors and the emotion. And you get the spectrum of what John is truly going through, to the point where he snaps on a baby because he doesn't know what's happening, what he's taking anymore. I mean, all the thoughts pouring into his mind, almost like Professor X when he puts on Cerebrum. Or I guess before, when his mutant powers are kicking in. But it's so much for John to overcome and deal with that it's so interesting. It's so fun to just take a look at the mental state of where John is in Absolute Martian Manhunter, and where the story wants to go. As of now, they're still trying to figure out what. I mean, as the viewer, we're still trying to figure out what's going on, where the story is going to go. Is he the Martian? Is he not? Is the Martian just in his head? Is the Martian working with John? We don't know. I mean, I have a feeling that more likely than not, John is the Martian, but we don't know that as of now. I could be totally wrong. The Martian could be a separate entity that lives only within inside John's head from Mars. Or he took over and hid, well, didn't take over, but hid inside of John's head, which would be a very interesting concept. I think they have a lot of ability to go and do whatever they want to do with these two characters, and I think that's so interesting and so fun. And I can't keep harping on it, but this does some of the most interesting and colorful things I've ever seen a comic do. I've read a bunch of comics. This one made me feel like different. The colors were so bright and vibrant that I would have to look away and then like turn back to reality almost for a second. Like I was getting sucked into the pages. It was so interesting and very just, I want to say cinematic, but like obviously that's not what the word is. Like very, I want to say suffocating or cinematic, but you know, like when something stands out, it's like very it's just beautiful. I can't figure out the word, but it's beautiful. I think this comic is beautiful. I think what it's doing is beautiful. I think it's some of the most interesting comic that DC has put out right now. And if you haven't, I'd say pick up or start reading Absolute Martian Manhunter. And I think you'll have a blast. I think you'll be drawn in and invested so much into the narrative. I think it's such a good story, and I can't wait to read more of it. But with that, I want to move on to the final topic of this episode. I think this might be a shorter episode. I think last time was a little bit longer. Maybe not. Maybe this is going to be longer, because I had a lot to say about Absolute Martian Manhunter, and I had a lot to say about Zatanna. And I think I'm going to have even more to say about Superman, because the summer of Superman has started, and with the movie Superman by James Gunn coming out in July, DC is starting to push Superman more in comics and in other forms of media. And we are going to have a Supergirl movie as well within the coming years to follow suit with Superman in July, which I'm super excited for, the Supergirl movie. Let me tell you that outright. Lobo, Jason Momoa is going to be freaking awesome. I think that's going to be one of the best comic book role choices we've ever seen. Like, it's going to be so fun. I think he'll ham it up in that role, and I think it'll just do so well. I think it'll be so interesting and so enjoyable to just watch him just have fun as Lobo, because Lobo is like a goofy character, but he could be really serious too. And so I'm excited to see what he does with this character and show his range, because I think he's a great actor. But Summer of Superman has started, and Superman Unlimited has come out last week. the 21st. And let me tell you, I was not really looking forward to reading it. I did not think I was going to like it too much because I'm not the biggest Superman fan. I like Superman. I'm more interested in most of his villains. It's just, and this will go into the topic later. I'm not a big person with super overpowered characters. I never have been, never really where it was. It kept me away from watching and reading Dragon Ball when I was younger. Um, it kept me from reading Green Lantern and Superman for a while. I always hated the Hulk. I know the Hulk is really good, but I was just like, well, all he does is punch things. So how good can he really be? And same with Thor. I mean, but you know, I don't think I could ever like a Thor comic. But that's besides the point. So I was going into Superman Unlimited, and I was not really looking forward to it. But I was like, I have to read it. It's for the channel, and it's a summer Superman. So let's just get hyped for Superman. I don't think this will be as good as Action Comics that's going on right now. Chef's kiss. Action Comics just so good right now, but Superman Unlimited shocked me on how good it really was. I will say the art is not amazing. It is not something to write home about. Out of the 3 issues that I'm talking about today, I think it's the worst one by far. It's not amazing. It's not bad. Obviously, I'm not going to act like I could do much better. Even though I'm a pretty good artist, I'll say that. I'm a pretty good artist. But I'm not going to put someone else's art down like that. It's just, it. You got the Superman role. And you got a big Superman comic with Superman's name in the title. This isn't like Superman and Lois. It's Superman Unlimited. And I'm not gonna bash you for your art. I'm not sure who did the art for Superman Unlimited. And so I'm not even gonna bring up their name. But I think maybe if I don't want to be a downer, but I think with this type of story, with it gonna be so grounded, so very I think it'd be very emotional. I think we need some really good art for this comic. And I don't want to be that person that's like, "Oh, get a new artist." But I think a lot of those scenes, a lot of those comic panels would have been a lot better with like a really really good artist. But hey, maybe it'll get better. Maybe it'll get better. I'm not going to hold judgment as of now. Only been the first issue. And I'm excited to see what they do. I liked some of the art in this. I think some of the art looked really good. I think the reincarnation of Superman Dead looked really good. That looked incredible. But some of the scenes with the faces were a little rough. I don't like the kind of shading on the side of Superman's face. It kind of gave him like he was always eating something. So it was a little weird for me. But besides that, the story for this issue, just setting up the coming issues, this was so interesting because it started with Superman, going against Intergang and doing his normal thing where he stops bad guys, and we get to see Superman just be a hero, be a crime fighter, less of a crime fighter and more of a hero. And that one interaction where he's talking to the girl playing the guitar, singing about the city, and he says, "I listen every day, and I keep it up. It's my favorite," is just something that no other hero can do. There's not a single hero that I can name that can have an interaction with just a normal person like Superman, just like that. I love Batman. Batman has some of the best interactions with just ground level people, normal people. When he saves them, all he tries to do is just show them hope or justice or things of that nature. I think it's amazing. I think Batman has some of the most like deep and philosophical questions that he brings to light within his comics. But this one interaction with the girl singing and playing the guitar was such a good moment to then go into a moment where Superman is now fighting for his life, basically. It gives you that sort of levity that is almost needed in a Superman comic to show how much humanity and love for the world Superman has. He's somebody that came from Krypton and now lives on Earth, raised by humans, weaker than him, but he sees them all as equal, and he loves everybody the way they are. Unless they're evil, obviously. And that one interaction shows the struggle and the power that Superman has, but he chooses to be with humanity. And I think that's just so beautiful. Like no other people other than these super strong characters can have an interaction like that. And I think that perfectly goes into what I want to talk about is that I thought that powerful characters were some of the most boring and uninteresting characters there could be. I hated Superman. I hated Green Lantern. I hated the Hulk. I still hate Thor. Um, Invincible, Dragon Ball, things of that nature. I just was not interested. I didn't like Dr. Manhattan. I didn't like Dr. Manhattan until I read the comic. Because, I mean, I watched the movie first, I'm going to be honest. I didn't even know there was a comic. And then I saw it at my library and I read the Watchmen comic. And let me tell you, peak, peak. If you haven't read Watchmen, go read Watchmen. Peak. However, like Green Lantern having the ability, having a story just like this. Let me bring it in. I'll have a little spoiler for New 52 right here. One of my favorite things is how Jordan is now without powers. He was a god. He could do anything. He could literally create anything he desired with his mind. And now he lost it because he overabused his power. He stepped above. And now he has to live with the idea that he will be no longer a god, no longer be able to have everything at the literal fingertips because his ring sat on his hand. He's no longer to have that anymore. And then he decides in one of the issues that he's fine with that. He's given up on wanting to be a god because the one thing that was most important to him, the thing he neglected the most, Carol, was no longer wanting him, was no longer falling for the Hal Jordan that she once knew because he was obsessed. He was destroying everything in his path his entire life just because he couldn't accept that he was no longer a Green Lantern. And then you have Sinestro, who's a Green Lantern. His people are enslaved. And now he's come to Hal and Carol, where Hal has finally accepted who he is. And Sinestro takes him out of their bed in the middle of the night and gives him the power that he's been wanting desperately back. There's nothing more powerful than that. Like, that moment is just so strong. That means so much because now Hal has to sit with the fact that he can be a Green Lantern again. Everything he accepted is gone. It's all back. The power at his fingertips, he has it. But he also has the woman that he loves. So what is he going to do? I think that's just so beautiful. I think it's so strong. And Superman has the same dilemma. He could stop every bad guy with the snap of his fingers and all of Metropolis. He can do that. But is that going to really solve all the issues? Is that going to make people be better? Is that going to make Lex Luthor not hate him? No, that won't happen. Superman has problems. That's why he's able to be hurt by kryptonite. That magic affects him. Because deep down, he's not a god. He's a man with the strength to do what he must do for others. And that's what makes Superman so interesting. Like, I know this sounds like a glaze for Superman, but let me tell you, if you are on the fence for Superman and you want to get into Superman, obviously the 90s is probably peak Superman time, but like, I would say go read the new Action Comics line because it's just so good. The stuff where he's having to protect Connor, his son, a Krypton, half Kryptonian, from Doomsday, who hates Kryptonians and wants to kill them. So that Clark has to put everything on the line for more than just himself, for more than just protecting himself, because he's already fought Doomsday before and he lost. He put him down, but Doomsday also put Superman down. He lived up to what he needed to do, which was stop the ultimate monster. And now he must do it again, but for different reasons. Not to save the world. Not just to save himself, but to save something more important to him. And I just think that's so interesting. The things that they do with Superman recently are just so interesting. And I love it. I can't get enough. I'm going to be honest, I can't get enough. And I'm so excited for this Superman movie. It looks phenomenal. I love the idea of what they can do and the characters that Superman has within his mythos, honestly, they might be better than Batman's mythos at this point. Because Batman's mythos has been kind of bad. I know. The Batman's mythos is still goated. We got some goated characters, but that's a video for another time. But Superman's mythos is really good. Parasite, bruh. That's such a good concept. The fact that you have somebody that could steal his energy, so it makes him just a man. And so now he has to deal with the fact that he's just a man fighting a literal monster. I think the stuff with Superman is so interesting. He's able to kind of uplift other heroes. He's allowed to be a symbol for what it means to be a hero. And he's almost the poster child for like who you want to aspire to be. He may not be the best hero. He may not be perfect. But he is Superman, the hope of Earth. And with everything else, you have Connor Kent. You have John Kent. You have Kara Zor-El. His mythos has been expanding so much to be so good. Even Supergirl's own issue is amazing. I love the idea that there's a copycat when she's already having an identity crisis. There's a copycat that Kara now has to deal with and has even control over her own parents. I think that's so interesting. And so everything is just coming full circle to make Superman such an interesting character with his mythos and lore and stories that could be told. He's good in Justice League Unlimited. He's good in Superman Unlimited. He's good in Action Comics. There's that other Superman comic that's going on that I haven't read yet. Give me time. I will. Maybe it's even better than both of them. Who knows? I don't know because I haven't read it yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I just think it's so interesting. I think it's so good. And the only thing that I could ask for Superman, give me Electric Blue Superman, please. That's all I can ask for. That's literally all I can ask for. I swear, it's all I can ask for. I've just been so excited. I've been so happy. It was so good. I think it was the best comic of the week. I'm gonna put my hand down. I think it was the best comic of the week. I think it was the best comic. I think it's on par with Supergirl. I think it's worse than a Absolute Martian Manhunter too, just because that comic is just so good. It's been I don't think nothing's lived up to Wolverine, the Wolverine run. It's so good. No, because I have issues with Wolverine too. But like these things are so new that like I can't really compare them to Wolverine. But I've really liked Wolverine. I think the thing I like the most probably is Justice League Unlimited, but it's for another talk. Excuse me, that's for another time. I've been really enjoying that. I just can't wait to read more of that. I want to buy all the issues, get every variant. I'm gonna love it all. I'm gonna read it all. But I'm thankful for if you guys watched, you stuck around, and you listened to the whole podcast. This was not the best week in comics, but I think for what we got, it was pretty good. And if you haven't, once again, go read Superman Unlimited. That was so good. It was so enjoyable. And strong characters aren't boring. They're not. They're actually pretty fun. But thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe. If you like, it allows it to get to more people. So like the last video didn't perform. We didn't get to the point where I could read Absolute Batman and Flash. But this video, I'll keep the same thing. If we get to 50 likes, I will read Absolute Batman by Sunday and put out the video. And then if we get to 100 likes, I will read Absolute Batman and Absolute Flash on Sunday. Once again, thanks for watching. Remember, if we get to 2,000 subscribers by August 5th, I believe, I'll be watching and reviewing She-Hulk and Echo, which I wouldn't be too excited about it, but I would do it for the channel because that'd be a great milestone and it'd be great. And I'd be very happy. But once again, you don't have to subscribe. You don't have to like. If you don't like it, don't like it. Please don't. Don't do it just to make me review something else. I want to know what I can do better, what you'd like to see going forward. And I do appreciate every person that watches these videos. It means the most. I would love to make this my job one day so that I can read every comic and tell you guys what I think, what you should read, what you shouldn't read, and just build a community. I mean, we can just enjoy these characters together because I know life is hard every day. We all have to get up and do things we don't want to do, and we all have problems. And sometimes an escape is watching a YouTube video or reading a comic, watching a movie, things of that nature. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to keep doing what I love, even if there's views or not. But I appreciate for the view, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.